Perhaps...
My name is Dany Elachi.
Thank you.
I'm a proud Sydney husband and father of 5 beautiful children aged between 7 and 15 years. I'm also the founder of the Heads Up Alliance, a grassroots volunteer-run parents movement that encourages the formation of local family alliances to delay children's access to smartphone and social media in community. Our members number in the thousands from every state in the country. We are Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, and none of the above. Black, white and brown, city dwellers and country folk. We are parents from Perth to Byron Bay, from Hobart to Darwin. We are progressive and conservative and everything in between. We don't agree on all issues, but we do agree that our children are precious, that childhood is precious, and that it's high time we reclaimed our children from the clutches of big tech. I am honoured to appear before you today with fellow father Ali Halkich, father of Alem. Wayne Holdsworth, Mac's father, was also supposed to be sitting with me at this table today, but unfortunately he was unable to make it. I'm speaking here today also with his support. On the 28th of June, before this very committee, Antigone Davis, met as head of safety, testified under oath, and I quote, "I don't think that social media has done harm to our children." In several other oral and written submissions to this inquiry, academics, cyber safety educators, mental health organisations and even the E-Safety Commissioner herself have also, to some degree or another, attempted to downplay the harmful impacts of social media on our children. Parents are not buying it. We are the ones at the coalface, seeing the harms with our own eyes playing out in real time. Experiments are being conducted in every family home in the country, and we know that social media is distracting our children, addicting them, depressing them, exhausting them, inducing anxiety in them, isolating them, crushing their self-esteem, serving them X-rated content, facilitating predation, scandalising them, radicalising them, bullying them, sleep depriving them, sextorting them, preying on their specific vulnerabilities, driving them to self-harm, and in some cases even to suicide. Both Alem and Mac were 17 years of age when they took their own lives. Alem in Victoria 15 years ago, Mac in New South Wales just this past year. Alem was the victim of cyberbullying, Mac the victim of sextortion. Meta might claim that social media does not harm children, but the Halkich and Holdsworth families, and hundreds more like them, who've paid the ultimate price, beg to differ. Our children beg to differ. In his farewell note to his dad, Mac made it clear that social media played a role in his suicide. Who do we believe? Antigone Davis or Mac Holdsworth? And if we believe Mac Holdsworth, surely the next questions are, what are we going to do? And how soon can we do it? Here's a good start. Let's lift the minimum social media age, back it up by the force of law, put the onus back on the social media companies to ensure compliance. And to what age should we lift it? Well, why don't we ask those defending the status quo why they think 13 is the correct age? Do they have evidence for that position? Are they insisting that we don't tinker with 13 years because they've consulted neuroscientists and child psychologists? Or are we at 13 because of American privacy law, written 25 years ago, before social media was even invented, itself resting on the financial interests of tech companies? What are the chances that these financial considerations somehow got the settings just right for our children as well? It's an absurd position that those arguing against lifting the age have to defend. On the other hand, there are those who wish to place children's well-being at the front and centre of our considerations, those who approach this question anew with an open mind, those who want big tech's profit motives to play no role in the question, and who wish to consider the science of children's development instead. Those who wish to apply the precautionary principle and maintain that when something so fundamental and so important as childhood being at stake, that when our children's very lives are at stake, it is prudent to tread carefully and to err on the side of caution. I commend Peter Dutton for taking a decisive stance here. He declared boldly months ago that a government led by him would raise the minimum social media age to 16 years immediately. Many parents around the country have taken note of that, and we had planned to spend the next year making sure every parent in the country took note of it too. But then, just a few weeks ago, the Prime Minister also declared he might be following suit. We await with great anticipation the Prime Minister's further detail around that announcement. The Heads Up Alliance, in fact, challenges the Prime Minister to do better than Mr Dutton. We believe the gold standard is 18 years of age, and I'm happy to take questions later on to support that position. Parents urge our lawmakers to ignore the naysayers, those same ones who tried to stand in the way of school mobile phone bans in recent years. The same tired arguments were used then. Oh, it will only drive students' phone use underground, or students will still find ways around the bans, or let's not forget all the positive ways that students can use their phones. Thankfully, the state premiers saw through those inane arguments and pressed ahead. 12 months later, the bans have been so successful, the premiers of Queensland, New South Wales and South Australia are doing backflips. Not perfect, but still, as New South Wales Premier Chris Minns told me just 10 days ago, it's the best thing my government has done. Thank goodness he and other premiers did not listen to the doomsayers then, because they've been proven to be spectacularly wrong, just as they are wrong again now in trying to block this reform with the same discredited arguments. I've heard some people say that our technology to verify age isn't sufficiently developed yet, or that it imposes too great an impingement on citizens' privacy. If this is true, we still want the laws on the books. If increasing the minimum age of social media is only a symbolic law, we say it is a law worth having. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is change the social norms around social media use. Many parents are now under the false impression that if they hold their kids out until 13, they've done a good job and their children will be safe. A law change will help jolt perceptions closer to reality and provide much needed support and clarity for parents. We all in Australia now have a chance to do something historic, something bold, brave and inspiring. From Germany to the United States to South Africa, the world is watching us. We have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to correct the mistakes of the past, and we shouldn't squander it. I urge this committee not to fall for the spin of big tech and their abettors. Please listen to the clear and untainted voices of your constituents for whom you work. We hear oftentimes that we should be listening to our children's voices in this debate, and I agree. Please listen to and believe Alam Halkich and Mac Holdsworth.